Blog Talk Radio.
The other thing you should do when you set up a show is put the intro music on there. So, can you find the button real quick?
God damn you, starcher.
Well, I got it somewhat set up. At least I got a time frame, and there we go.
Now, what's that smell? Just like cornbread done too well. What you need, you know I got. You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up.
Oh, man. Unforgiving crowd.
That's right. I appreciate you, Jesse Starcher. I'm having, this is going to be a long week for me, and I need to rest on people that I can trust to hold up the fort for me. So I appreciate the fact that you did a half-ass job setting up this show.
Yeah, that's at least I didn't full ass it.
No, at least you put it on the right day.
That's right.
You seem to have set it up for 90 minutes. Good.
Yep.
You uploaded the music, which is important. So I tell you what, the fact that you foobarred the opening segment here by not putting in the intro music, I'm gonna give you a pass on that.
I appreciate that.
You get a B-.
Good enough. That's all I shot for in college.
Nice. All right. Folks, you are listening to the half-ass of Doom. No, you are listening to the Metal Hammer of Doom. This week, it's just me and Starcher. Coop is not going to be with us tonight. And good thing, too, because we are reviewing Volbeat, Seal the Deal, and Let's Boogie. Oh, Jungle Boogie. Wow, wow. Jungle Boogie would be a better song than some of what we got on this album.
Jeez.
I was really looking forward to some new Volbeat. I got into them when I accidentally chose them as I think it was like 2013 best band 2013, and it actually put the album out in 2012 or something.
Whoops.
I decided that I swore I wouldn't forget the name of the song. The fight song, the Let's Get Ready to Rumble.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Damn it, hold on a second. I'll figure it out. You keep talking.
Well, I had decided that I had heard that on the radio, and I loved it. I fell in love with the song, and I had assumed it was new. Didn't bother to look it up or anything. And I said on the air, and I'm like, yeah, my favorite song of this. We were picking our favorite songs of that year, I think, for that episode. And I played that Volbeat song, and Rob Cooper goes, "That's great, except that you're in the wrong year." I'm like, God damn it!
A Warrior's Call, by the way.
Yeah, that's the one. So I have been looking forward to more a Warrior's Call type Volbeat, and I didn't get it. I was really looking forward to this new album, Seal the Deal and Let's Boogie, and it didn't happen for me. We're gonna break it down tonight. Go ahead, Starcher. Why don't you jump in here with your just overall, you know the deal, the attraction to Volbeat, the history.
Yeah.
You know, why it pinches your nipples the way that it does, the whole thing.
Oh, sure. Well, this was another one of those bands that I can attribute to finding on the internet. I think I was cleaning my living room, and I had Last.fm on in the living room through the Xbox, and there was a song that came out off of Guitar Gangsters and Cadillac Blood, and it really, I was like, holy crap, who are these guys? And immediately, you know, did my due diligence and making sure I grabbed the torrent of all the music that they had, their discography straight off of Pirate Bay or something like that, and then I dutifully paid all the royalties to the band shortly thereafter. And okay, wink, wink. So I enjoyed the music. So listening to their stuff, it was really heavy, and the vocals. For any of those out there that are listening tonight and have never heard of Volbeat, wait till you listen to Michael Poulsen sing. It's going to catch. What's that?
Very similar to Keith. I was going to say it's very similar to Keith Caputo's Life of Agony, or Life of Agony's Keith Caputo. It's that heavy bass baritone voice. It's very different from what you would normally get in a metal band. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's one of those things. It's one of the things that attracted me to Volbeat right away. I really enjoyed the thing. In fact, when I heard A Warrior's Call for the first time, I thought it was Life of Agony. I was like,
oh, really?
Yeah. I absolutely thought it was Life of Agony at first, and when someone Shazammed it, I was like, oh goodness, this is not Life of Agony. This is Volbeat. And it's so funny because I actually thought Volbeat was a different band that's evolved something as well, and I couldn't tell you the name of it. I should try to figure it out, but I thought it was a different band. I thought it was like a techno industrial band, and I'm like, no, wait, Volbeat's a Swedish rock and roll band. So I'm all over the place here, get my facts wrong. But go ahead, you continue what you were saying.
Well, I learned a lot, after listening to some of their stuff about how they started out really heavy. This band started out in 2005. Now, of course, I wasn't listening to it until probably about 2009 or so, 2010. But when you go back into their early catalog, they're really heavy. Like I said, Michael's got this very interesting vocal, the way he sings things, the way he puts that out there. But they were heavy, very heavy. With a few songs that were kind of on the lighter side, but most of it was really, it felt metal to me. Their lyrical content itself in most of their songs is something that I kind of gravitate towards, where they're talking about devils, angels, religious iconography in a few of their songs, ghosts. That seems to be a big theme through some of their songs. So that kind of drew me also. So much, in fact, that I'd never heard of these guys up until that point in 2010, and I didn't understand how the hell nobody else had after I heard them. I was like, why aren't these guys on the radio? And I made it my mission to get these guys on the radio around here. And I remember sending text after text to the fucking radio station. Like, I did. And I was like, get it. You guys got to share this with everybody. And I can't remember which one it was, but shortly thereafter, Beyond Hell, Above Heaven came out. And I was like, holy shit, this is some good stuff. I think that right there is their best album out of their catalog. Although there are some runner-ups very close to it. So, yeah, I made it my mission to try and share this with everybody I could. And I think I really, I'd like to say I had my hand in popularizing them, but I also want to say I don't want that credit, because I think it's starting to affect the band. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But, I had the chance, and I went down to a concert. I know I've mentioned this on here before, but we hit Cincinnati, went to a concert and watched these guys rock out. I think it was in 2011, 2012. Holy shit. What just a blast to watch. A blast to watch. This was right after one of their guitarists, one of the main guitarists that had been around with them, was not able to make according to them, make the plane over to the concert. Something about his visa, which I'm sure that was all just, there's some other side story behind that. But the rest of the guys were there, and they still kicked ass. So I was still impressed. And then, you know, you start to notice a trend, and we'll talk about that. But that's what brought me to these guys.
Okay. As I said, I heard the Warriors call, and that's what did it for me. And when I heard that they were coming out with a new album, same week as Hatebreed, I was like, okay, we got to review this album. I'm very excited for this. Now that it's out, now we've had time to digest it. It's been a couple of weeks now. I have to say, a little disappointed. You know, we're going to go through it track by track here, but let me just put this out there right now. There are some bands that suffer from the same Z's. You know, Slayer would be one of those bands. Slayer has been putting out the same album now for years, and it's fine because it's Slayer and it works. And occasionally, there'll be a track or two that stand out, but you know, nobody's buying Slayer albums, you know, for the for the vast differences in the tracks. You know, Slayer is something you experience. You just don't. So they can get away with it. There are certain death metal bands that, you know, their whole shtick is the same Z's. But then there are other bands where, you know, they're really interesting and they do some fun stuff with the music. And when they get a case of the same Z's, it's disappointing. And I would say that's pretty much my take on Seal the Deal and Let's Boogie, is that I didn't hear anything on this album that I hadn't already heard on a previous Volbeat album. And in many cases, I kept hearing the same song over and over again.
Oh, man, we're going to hear that for sure.
So if you want to add to that, go ahead. Otherwise, we're going to jump right into track 1 here with The Devil's Bleeding Crown.
No, go for it, man. Let's start off.
All right. As I said, this is track 1 on Seal the Deal and Let's Boogie. The Devil's Bleeding Crown. It's fine. It's okay. There's nothing inherently wrong with the track. But would you say that that track is sort of symptomatic of the samesies?
I mean, my notes here stated this is classic Volbeat. Okay.
Hang on. You have notes, you nerd?
I have notes, man. I got them, dude. Trust me, I'd be all over the place. But yeah, this is classic Volbeat. This is their sound, the heaviness, it's fast paced. To me, it feels like this is what I wanted. Honestly, even though it feels samey to you, I mean, we're one track in, Mark, and you know, you're already like, hey, this is samey Volbeat. And I understand where you're coming from there. When this single was dropped, I remember hearing this, I think it was on Spotify, I'm pretty sure, because I got the notification and popped it up there and listened to it. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting pumped. I want to hear some more of this stuff. What I'd hoped would happen is we're going to kind of start at a low level and we're going to kind of escalate and go up as the album goes. And the more songs as we hit, the better, you know, the more I'm going to like it. And maybe I was into it. I don't know did you happen to hear this song at all prior to listening to the album at all?
No.
Okay. All right. So you probably didn't have that anticipation when you first heard this single drop. And I don't know. It was classic stuff. I mean, we got it's Devil's Bleeding Crown. We're talking about Devils again. It's when you say samey, I guess classic goes right hand in hand with that. But I enjoyed this song. So this wasn't one of those ones where I was like, This felt like good stuff to me.
Okay, I think here's my problem. It didn't grab me.
Okay.
It didn't reach out to the speakers and grab me by my shoulders and shake me. It just that sounds like Volbeat. And that was my reaction to it. Like I said, not good, not bad. I'm like, sounds like Volbeat. And
yeah.
Now the next track, Marie Laveau, this stood out to me. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. This one actually, I feel like they were doing some interesting stuff here. So this is Marie Laveau.
You fool the Queen Marie Laveau. I'm on my knees, stop begging you. Awake the fallen one in me. Thy power of power I hail. No white woman, your favorite foe. Together with the gods and gold. I find you at the river tail. As the followers to your rail. Sing with Marie, let me hear thy tone. Sing with Marie, let me hear thy tone. We're under Marie, thunder of the coffin. Sing with Marie, you've been called down again.
Well, the chorus gets to be a little samey, but leading up to the chorus, I was into it.
Yeah. What we start seeing here is that you got some great guitar, but then when as it leads up to the chorus, just like you're saying, it almost feels like it takes a step backwards from being heavy a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it was like they found a hook and decided we're going to put this hook in every song.
Yeah, dude. And that is what's really upsetting me about having to. Well, I was all excited about Volbeat. You could go back, folks, to 3 or 4 Metal Hammer of Dooms ago when they were talking about Volbeat, and I was just itching. I can't wait to talk about it. And now I have to, come on this show and I have to rip one of my favorite bands, a new one. I shouldn't say it's not going to be that bad, but I mean, I wanted to see something more.
You're not used to being negative, are you?
No, sir. I don't know how you could tell.
I only say that because you clearly don't want to hurt the ones you love.
That's right.
And you've heard the show. Hurting the ones you love is a staple. The Metal Hammer of Doom. We pull no punches. And I have brought on many bands that I have absolutely loved. Ministry probably being the top one. And when we reviewed Ministries from Fear to Eternity, I tore that album to shreds.
It's tough, man. I mean, when you love something this much, that I could tell you, sir, that this was probably one of 2 bands that I've ever requested. It's not like I'm making requests to my radio every night or something like that. I have the internet for whatever I want to listen to now.
Seriously, I have this picture of you now laying on your bed with your on your belly with like your legs crossed, and you're just holding it.
Got my head in my hands and sitting there waiting for the next track.
You're just by the radio. And by the way, you're dressed as a 1960s teenage girl. But
that fits right in with this band. Do you get that feeling? Do you get that feeling, though, from these guys that it's almost like, I swear Michael Poulsen is a man out of time. He
maybe.
He emulates, or at least idolizes Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, and I get so much of that vibe from a lot of the songs that he puts out there. And somewhat can be to his detriment because we're going to, geez, fucking 50s basketball. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. But it's one of the things, going back to me trying to come to grips with the fact that I have to be criticizing of this album. Yes, I love these guys. I hate to see some. It's just like if Clutch dropped a turd, and you're just like, gosh. To me, that was Strange Cousins from the West, and it would have broke my heart. There's still a couple songs I like off of that, but it would have broke my heart to actually sit here and have to talk about it because I didn't like that album at all. And now I'm actually going to have to do this tonight, so bear with me because
we're gonna bust your cherry, buddy. We're gonna make a man out of you, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're gonna make a man out of you. Oh boy. All right, let's get on with this then. Get on with the man making. Track 3. This is The Bliss.
Memory, your lamplight is burning holes. Recover the damage, bring it all home. Follow the flares, just like a summer song. They stay there forever. I try to remember. Come home. Memory, you gave me another note. Our much that is endless. Bring it on home. Oh, what it is feels like a summer song. I stay here forever. A face I remember. Presenting a new beginning. Forever, you and I. And when the morning is lonely and life is down of sight, then we'll be living together, you and I.
Okay, a couple of things right off the bat. 1, please play this song on the radio. 2, I have heard that guitar lick done so much better and so much more interesting in older songs. It was like, I don't mind, like, there's only so many ways you can manipulate the guitar, especially, for certain genres. So I'm a little bit more forgiving than, I've heard this before. It's not that. It's that I've heard that lick done better. And so I feel like it's like they went to the most boring route with that lick.
Well,
and go ahead.
No, I agree with you 100%. I'm about to go on a rant here, so if you have anything else you want to say, you're more than welcome to hop in there before I go off.
You are only second to Angry Ben in rants that I enjoy hearing, so please, the floor is yours.
Well, okay. I've uploaded another song. You should be able to find it on the list there. It is 3A.
Yep, I got it.
As in evidence, as in exhibit 3A.
Okay.
All right.
Hang on. Before you go any further, because something just came up on my computer and it reminded me of this. And I just want to say, this is now the second album that I saw a band put out, and I was excited for it, only to be let down and find myself saying, "Hey, I liked your older stuff better." The other one and I'm not going to review it on the Metal Hammer of Doom because it's not a metal band, but Garbage just put out a new album, and I love me some Garbage. I was all about this band when when the Queer came out and Stupid Girl and all, was believe it was a self-titled album from what I remember. And they dropped a new one, and I was like, yeah, new garbage. Oh, my 2016 has begun. And I played it over the weekend, and I kind of turned to my wife, and I'm just like, that was a lot of nothing.
It sucks when it sucks when you. I don't know if it's just a matter of you can't go back again, or time changes people, time changes bands, and when you find that one band that can stay consistent with stuff that you enjoy, that is a gem. That is something to cherish and be proud of and be happy you have. It also, I mean, I'm going to use Clutch again. We've watched Clutch evolve from what they were initially, which was a very, very heavy band, and they've definitely progressively changed throughout the years. I mean, we're talking more than 20 years now. But you and I still enjoy them.
Never
time doesn't.
An album. I mean, I'm not going to say that I've loved every single album they put out, but I've never finished listening to an album and went, hey. I've always found something interesting about it. I've always had to go back and listen to it again, because there was interesting stuff going on that I think I missed. And so, it always had me coming back. And there was at least one standout track.
Exactly.
When there's nothing that stands out to you and it's just a lot of samey and it's a lot of nothing, it's like
sad. You're let down.
It's like, you went out with a pretty girl and then she talks and you're like, oh, you were so much prettier before you talked. Hello, ladies. But you were ranting. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, man. So I think it is the first time that I'm listening to this album. We get to this song, which, by the way, it's called The Bliss, but I think if you go to the deluxe tracks, it's like For Evit, E-V-I-G-T, which I'm sure is some other language, but they're the same song. So anyway, I'm listening to this album, and I'm like, I swear I've fucking heard this before. I swear I've heard this song before. So yesterday, I have a little bit of time on my hands, and I start going through the Spotify library for Volbeat, and I knew it was on the previous album. So here's what I'd like for you to do, if you would, please. The last song that we just listened to, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and play the first 10 seconds of that song one more time, and then immediately after that, I want you to play 3A, and let's see if you can hear the same thing I am.
Memory, your lamplight is burning holes. Recover the damage, bring it all home. Fall out. Feel the fire where she walks. Lola much as so beautiful. Shady in the timber dale, blinding your eyes with a spider bed. Memory, your lamplight is burning holes. Recover the damage, bring it all home.
Okay.
Feel the fire where she walks. Lola much as so beautiful.
Wow.
I'm just so fucking fuming right now. I mean, are you kidding me? Okay, now here's the thing, Mark. We're not just saying the intro's the same, okay? Because if you listen to both songs, as a matter of fact, you cut off, when you first played it, you cut it off right where I was messing with it today, where I had both one headphone coming from the computer and the other one coming from my iPod, playing both songs at the same time. And it synced for like probably 3 fucking seconds. And then, of course, what I found out is I think the Bliss is more of a extended version, I should say. Like, it's almost like they kind of drug Lola Montez, which is the other one that I brought up here. It's almost like they drug that one out and kind of played it a little bit longer. But if you look at both songs, they are almost, I mean, you can pick out, I don't know where he was thinking, oh, this is, I don't understand how he didn't realize what he was doing. This is not 3 albums ago. This is the last album that they dropped, which was from Shady Gentlemen, or Shady Ladies, or whatever it is. Can't remember. Outlaw Gentlemen, Shady Ladies. Anyway, it's just last album. So it's just that right there. You want to talk about seal the fucking deal? That shit right there sealed the deal for me on this album. Where I was like, okay, you got to be fucking kidding me. You got to be kidding me. You're doing this. And to hear, like I said, I'm a big fan. There's somebody out there, there's many more out there that are bigger fans than I am. And if they aren't picking that up, I'm sorry. So they lost. When I say they, okay, Volbeat as a band, let's just get this straight. Volbeat has not been the same band as they started out. If you look at the wiki, you'll see that the only constant member that's there, I believe, is Michael, and I think the drummer. Yes, the drummer. Okay, those are the only 2. Anders has been around up until I think last album, which was the bass player. And by the way, Anders gets all my respect because that motherfucker can put it out on stage. But the main guitarist, like I said, they've switched guitarists for quite a while, and I don't know who it is. It's I'm sorry, Rob Caggiano, which I think is from Anthrax. I could be wrong, but either way, Michael is the face of the band. As a matter of fact, if you go to Spotify right now and you pull up Volbeat, okay, and you look at the artist picture, it's not a picture of a band. It's a picture of motherfucking Michael Poulsen's face. All right, that's the guy. I think that's the driving force behind this band. And with respect, I mean, it's his thing. It's his thing. Okay, whatever. But if he was the guy that mastered this shit that we just listened to, for shame, sir. I'm done.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think to the point that you're making, I think they brought in these new guys and like they're hired to play in the band, so they were like, okay, well let's play Volbeat songs, and that's what you get is a lot of the samesies. So this is track 4 on our Volbeat Plays Volbeat. This is the Gates of Babylon.
Awakening a goddess in the dark. On a stake, she's been hanging like a dove. Tried to reach for the underworld. Had to pass through the 7 gates of hell. Naked lost and deep proud of her. All the power that she had lost. You reach your God, reveal your heart. At the gates of Babylon, you reach your one, I see your heart. At the gates of Babylon.
So I'm mixed about that. I found the song interesting. I thought it was kind of unique, you know, the way they played around with that sort of Middle Eastern sound. But I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of it. I like the chorus. Overall, I give it a lot of credit for being one of the more unique songs on the album, but it didn't necessarily rise to my personal taste. So I would say, I'm not going to say it's a bad song. I'm saying I wasn't crazy about it.
Okay. I think we start getting into more mainstreaminess here as we continue through track 4. It kind of starts here. It's a little heavy. It's not heavy enough for me, but it's definitely something that I would hear. I think this whole album actually no problems whatsoever being played on the radio around my area.
No,
there's
but that's what I was saying before. This almost screams, please play these songs on the radio.
Yeah,
like,
the whole album.
We talked about this with another band where it was like, last week, as a matter of fact, what did we talk about last week?
What was that album? Shit. Now, see, I don't even fucking remember.
Hang on. Let me go back.
And you're the one that's working more than I am. I should have remembered.
Yeah, Hell Yeah. Okay, we talked about this with Hell Yeah, where it was like they were tripping over themselves to try to play, to try to create something that was radio friendly, and it just comes off as it just comes off as wrong.
Yeah.
This whole album was like they just went into the studio and like played the most radio accessible stuff they could think of.
It's kind of a letdown in my opinion. Gates of Babylon. What I do find myself doing though, I hate saying this, but I sing along with a lot of these tracks. I'm walking on the treadmill today, and I think this one hit, and I'm singing along with the chorus just because the stuff, the way that he sings and the cadence of some of the stuff is just so easy to sing along with. I'm not shouting like I was with Hatebreed, which was much more fun, but I'm singing along and having a good time, but it's not heavy enough for me to be like, all right, rock on. These guys, this is Volbeat right in your face. This is Volbeat singing me a song, a nice little dainty song is what it is.
For me, this is perfect song for me to write notes to, because I'm not really not listening with my good ear. I mean, it's just sort of background noise. So it's upbeat, but there's nothing special about it that I end up being distracted from what I'm doing. So it's perfect note writing music.
They should have put that on the fucking album. Right there, a little sticker.
Do you need background noise while you do paperwork? Well, we've got an album for you. That being said, let's go on to track 5 here. This is Let It Boing. I'm going to Disneyland.
Well, to go, kill the inside and let it burn. It's not the only well, kill the inside and let it burn. The fire may not offer, but the devil we return. A moment of something where the dark can refer. Tell the lonely where to go. Kill the inside and let it burn. It's not the only.
Jesse?
Put me on the radio.
Yeah, that's totally. I don't know if you had a chance to hear it on our shared mix, but I shared Dada's "I'm Going to Disneyland."
I did hear it, as a matter of fact. Yes.
You did hear it.
Yes, sir. I knew that reference, as Captain America said. Man, okay. Okay, listen. Decent song. It's more sing-along and more soft than it is heavy.
Maybe that's what they should have done with this, is made it a gimmick album and call it Sing Along with Volbeat.
Dude, it's some of the easiest. It's almost easygoing. If you look at some of these tracks, they really lean toward the easygoing route. It's almost hard to say something is rock and roll when it's, they're all ballads.
I can't remember what movie it was, but I remember they referenced something called easy listening rap. This would be easy listening heavy metal.
It is. It really is. And here's the thing, and you'll see this with most Volbeat albums as they go on through time. there's more easier going, more less heavy tracks as the albums went on, and this is we're witnessing the evolution here. This, I feel, is the evolution of Volbeat. This is not an experiment. I really don't know if there's going to become a point where they look at it and say, we need to go back to our roots. We need to get heavy. We need to, we need to really bring in some great heavy metal stuff. It continues to go this route with each album that gets dropped. So it's not a good sign for what the future of Volbeat's going to be. And I haven't looked at any reviews. I don't know if you have or not, and I haven't listened to any. But from what I understand, this thing broke. Did it break top 5?
Probably. I think I can look it up for you.
Yeah, I think I saw an article. Again, I do what most Facebook people do. I look at the titles of the articles and move on. I certainly don't read an article. What do you fucking expect me to do here? But I remember seeing the title of that article.
What's
and it said something. So people are enjoying this, which is...
Hang on. Allmusic.com gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. GAFA gave it 4 out of 6. Commercial performance, according to the wiki, Seal the Deal and Let's Boogie. Number 4 on the Billboard 200 with first week sales of 51,000 units, which is
number 4.
And it's the band's highest charting album in the U.S. So if we had the band on right now and we were like, listen, you fags, you have created an album that's so commercially viable it makes my ears bleed, they would turn to us and say, the object is to sell records, you fat bastard.
That's right. And they will say it's about making money.
Right. And we have sold records, so go fuck yourself. And I would, and I would have to agree with them.
You can't blame them for that. There's no way you can blame somebody for wanting to make money. But turning into, I don't want to say a farce of what you were, because I really don't think I really don't think it's that far from the original concept of what Volbeat was. It's just, it sounds so much different. And what are we metal elitists when we say shit like that, Mark? Is that are we stepping into that realm when we say stuff like that?
When we say stop making commercially viable music? Yeah.
Are we all of a sudden metal?
No, but I think you're putting words in my mouth, Mr. Starcher. No,
I'm asking you a question. I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but
no, I'm not saying don't make commercially viable music. Here's the thing. Let me be clear about this because maybe somebody else is also misunderstanding me. When I say, "Oh, this sounds like please play this song on the radio," here's the thing. I can hear a song that is absolutely commercially viable, that is absolutely radio friendly, but it sounds like it has integrity. Like the band, like it came from the band's heart. That's the song they meant to write. And whether or not American radio was what it is now, or what it could be if it was more like Europe or something even stranger, or if it were more like satellite radio, none of that mattered. They just wrote the song they wrote the song that spoke to their hearts, and it just happened to be radio friendly in today's environment and what's acceptable as radio friendly. You understand? When I criticize certain bands I'm not getting the sense that this was true to their heart because I've seen them do different things. I don't get it just feels hollow to me. It feels false. It feels phony. It feels like they're trying too hard. I don't feel. Okay, here's an example. Why do I like Tori Amos? Tori Amos, whether you love her or you hate her, is very passionate in her music. Especially her early stuff. You could hear a lot of pain coming out of that woman's voice. A lot of pain coming out of that woman's mouth. And that's the attraction for me. It is pure. It is unadulterated. It is this woman just, I don't want to be gross, but it is this woman just bearing her soul in musical form for all to appreciate. And, could Cornflake Girl still get on the radio? Sure, why wouldn't it? But I don't get the sense that she's lying to me on Cornflake Girl either. That is pure Tory, body and soul. And so that's sort of what I'm looking for in a lot of music, is this feeling of, did this band really put their hearts into this music, or is it we went into the studio and made a product? Go ahead and make a product, make that money, baby, but don't expect me to sit here and pat you on the back for making a widget.
Yeah.
What's it in the Lorax? Where everyone, it's the thing that they pull from the trees.
Caleb's in bed right now. I can't help you out there, buddy. Caleb's in bed, so I can't ask him.
Don't wake a child up.
He'd know, though. He probably would.
But I mean, I'm gonna look it up and say, but basically, don't. I'll call it a snoofle for now. One of them silly.
Sure, that sounds good.
I'm not. Make your snoofle if that's what you want to do, but don't expect me to pat you on the back and tell you what a good snoofle it is. And I don't think that makes me elitist at all. I think that makes. I think I'm just willing to call bands on their bullshit, basically.
We're going to get into this whole elitist shit when Whitechapel drops. Is that going to be a topic of conversation? Because wasn't that part of the article that you sent over?
Oh, I'd have to go back and reread it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, well, we'll get into that here later. All right, man. Well, that sounds good. I think we both know where we stand. They're not. I don't believe that Volbeat is what they were. However, what a band is the sum of its parts, and they've lost a lot of parts along the way and kept a couple. So what we might be seeing here is, as things go on, Michael's vision, or I don't know. I wish I did more research, but maybe it's Michael's vision that we're seeing here as time moves on. This is where he's gravitated. Wanted to gravitate his whole life. As an artist, that's kind of about all you can expect. Is just go with the flow and put out there what you love. If this is what he loves, which has always been the idea that I get from this guy. He's always been that, that 50s, late 50s, early 60s, greaser-looking type guy that, looked like he just got off the back of his bike and, combed his hair and he just lit a cigarette, whatever. That's the kind of music that he's always put out, it seemed like to me also. That kind of that era of mysticism too. We talk about the iconography, the religious iconography, and ghosts and stuff like that. That seemed like it also ties into what he puts out there. But anyway, okay, I'm done ranting. You want to move to the next track? We can do it.
All right. Let's go ahead and do that. This is Black Rose.
County days, it is over, my friends. It is over, my friends. Travel on. County days, it is over, my friends. It is over, my friends. Got love. Feeling rich, feeling poor, feeling nothing more. Self-destructive on a roller coaster fireball. Cut her tongue, don't believe her what she says. She's on a hunt, cooking misery. Left my heart on a shelf. Guitars ringing up on the notice board. I saw the line of things that came to me. So innocent, what to say? This is such good memory. I'm thankful I hope the world only for me and you. No more broken dreams. I feel like a loaded gun. Spinning bullets at your rubber up my control. Cut her tongue, don't believe her what she says. She's on a cooking misery. Can I think, can I talk, can I do it right? Can call the doctor, he's a sick test, you and I saw a lot of things that came to me. So innocent, what to say? This is a good memory. I'm thankful I hope the world only for me and you. So innocent, what to say? This is a good memory.
Okay, we finally hit upon a track I really, really like.
You know much about Danko Jones?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, he was our guest singer there, by the way. Danko's. I think he released a few albums. I know a few years back I had the opportunity to listen to one of his albums. He's interesting. He's definitely hard rock and roll type of guy, and Volbeat's usually doing a good job of bringing some guest vocalists on. So yeah, that was Danko, by the way.
Okay.
Did you get the 50 sock hop feel off the oohs and ahs there?
Yeah, I did, and that was one of the things I wanted to comment on. Was I'm not going to say that was the most highly original song I've ever heard. There's a lot of stuff in there I've heard before, but it's been reimagined and repackaged in a way that was very pleasing to me. And I finally oh good, we finally have a track with some balls.
Yeah.
Not the same hook again. It got to the chorus, and I had forgotten a little bit of what it sounded like. So I'm listening to like if he hits that chorus and it goes da 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 da.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, not again, and it doesn't. God.
No, it doesn't. No.
I actually let it play a little bit longer than I had intended. One, because I was updating the calendar. I just saw there's a new Running Wild album coming out later this year, and oh boy, am I excited now. Ever hear much Running Wild?
No, sir. Who is that?
It's the band from Germany. I put them on I put a couple of tracks on the playlist.
Okay, I'll look for them.
Great. You need to go listen to the Great Brain Robbery is Skyclad. Under Jolly Roger. That's the track you need to be aware of.
Okay.
And there's a few more Running Wild tracks on there, but Under Jolly Roger is the shit. All right, Jesse. I'm going to stop talking about Black Rose because we go from the very, very good to the very, very silly. Let me go ahead and play track 7, and then when it's over, just start venting. Okay?
Absolutely.
Because I know this is going to switch to therapy very quickly. So ladies and gentlemen, the bane of Jesse's existence, track 7 off Seal the Deal and Let's Boogie. This is Rebound.
Just always blowing his whistle at me. Put me in your gun, and I promise not to shoot a free. I think we're two. I don't want to make a deal unless you make a pass. I never put it off on you. Did you have to give your boyfriend all my letters? I didn't know we were 6 foot 8. Shot me inside and like a run. I ended up on the rebound. I took time out, it was too late.
Gay!
Jeez. Let's see how many fucking metaphors we can throw in a damn song. Got a basketball reference here and there. Do one more time. All right, I just decided to go over to BuzzFeed while we were listening to that great, tremendous song there about basketball, okay? This joins the ranks of said songs. BuzzFeed's 11 greatest basketball songs. All right? It joins the ranks of greats as What the Kid Did by Jason Kidd, Wings by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, Basketball by Curtis Blow.
No,
I wish it was a little bit taller. I wish it was a baller by Skee-Lo. That's How I Beat Shaq by Aaron Carter, Heart of a Champion by Nelly, Round Ball Rock, which is apparently the NBA on NBC theme. Number 2, Space Jam, Quad City DJs. And number 1, Playing the Game by Little Bow Wow, which I don't think I've ever heard. So this, we can put that on the list now. It's I've never in my life expected this from Volbeat. Never. Not once. And I mean, listen, these guys aren't, as I told you in our message there, these guys aren't completely serious all the time, but I've never heard such a goofball song about playing basketball. Really? I mean, we're a metal band and we're going to sing about playing basketball. Not only are we a metal band, okay, but we're a metal band, a Danish metal band. Okay, is it a very popular sport over there? It may be. I could be ignorant to the fact that it's quite popular over there, and what is that? That would be Finland or whatever it is. Not Finnish. What is it? What's the name of the? Is it Sweden? What nation would these guys be from? They're Sweden, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Can you name me some Sweden basketball teams? Didn't think so. All right, let's just move on because this is Mark. What you already said your one word take on the song, and I completely agree. They're
from Denmark, by the way. If they're Danish, they are a Danish band from Denmark.
Denmark, is that? I don't even want to do a geography lesson. I'll look it up later.
Okay.
I was about to ask you to tell me what nation that is, but is Denmark a nation?
Yes, you dummy.
Well, I come here to the Metal Hammer of Doom to learn things. So
Denmark is a country.
Denmark is a country
in Europe.
So maybe I shouldn't have much to say about the culture over there at all. But I can tell you that this song's fucking stupid. And then I'll just leave it at that.
Is it not about love? Is the man not talking there very, very distinctly about, the woman not loving him, and he's saying that he's on the second string, basically like, oh, I'm her second choice, that sort of thing. Isn't that what we're talking about here?
No, it's a lot of fucking basketball references, Mark. It's a lot of. Listen, you can sing that song a totally different way, and I'd respect it 900 times more.
Okay.
But when you shoehorn in just about damn near every reference you can to basketball, doesn't he say about shooting a three? I wouldn't make a pass, or I wouldn't steal if you don't make a pass. Something's goofy in the chorus. And, I mean, it's just like I was talking to Coop today. What if Grand Magus, or God forbid, fucking the Amon Amarth decide to write a song about golf and trying to merge Vikings with golf? It's just I can't take it. I wouldn't be able to actually look this song in the face and say, yes, sir, this is a great song. It's just not going to happen. So on this one, this is another track that I just, and we ain't even
legitimately mad.
I am, dude. It's
this is
sad
hilarious.
that, well, and I think what kind of upsets me is the fact that we ain't done, because we're about to get to, we ain't off the stupid train yet. It's still going full fucking force. Choo choo. Get ready, because we got more to come.
Okay. Well, with that kind of an introduction, let me get back on the stick here. This is track 8. This is Mary Jane Kelly.
Oh, here, Mary Jane Kelly, so sad and singing sadly, at violet blood from mother's grave. Exalt your Thomas for you, found you in the gutter. The sound of you will be no more.
breaking news. Rebound was a cover.
Yeah.
A song done by a band called Teenage Bottle Rocket.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I want to go on record as this is cover number 1 that was stupid as shit. All right, let's go. Let's go ahead and talk about Mary Jane Kelly. I believe, just like you said, yeah, they were kind of back to the laid back, and there's some oohs and some ahs in here, if I remember correctly, in this song.
Oohs and ahs, and it takes a little pause.
And one of the things that Volbeat, if you look at a lot of their songs on most of their albums, or I should say, if you look at the songs on their albums, usually you're going to come across one on each album about some dead girl. Sad, kind of sad. He likes to sing a lot about some tragic female figure. And of course, I think this is another one of them songs. So when you say samesies when it comes to the sound, also sometimes that can be in content also. And we got another tragic dead girl here that he's singing about. So, ooh, ah.
It's got a few oohs and ahs, and it takes a little pause.
What is that from?
Please play this song on the radio.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. You just played that not too long ago. I got it. I got it.
Yes, sir. All right. This is Goodbye to You. No, it's not. This is Goodbye Forever.
I mean, at the risk of repeating ourselves, samey.
Yeah, I don't want to belabor this. We're running low on a little bit of time. I know I'm sort of on a deadline tonight. Not that I have anything to do after except go to sleep. But
sleep.
Jesse and I talked before the show, and I said I kind of want to be done in 90 minutes or less. So go ahead and make your point. But I don't really have anything to add to this. It was one of the that reminds me of the kind of track that in the middle of a great album would be filler, and I'd be okay with it. But in the track where I'm struggling to get through it, it's like, this is yet another rough hill to climb.
Yeah, it's another radio favorite. The only unique thing I can really say about this type of song is that Volbeat motion pretty well. And I think a lot of their songs, a lot of their popular songs, like I believe Fallen. Oh, man, I can't remember the name of the song, but anyway, they do a great job of singing a song that will emotionally touch you sometimes, and I think this was their aim for this one. It's kind of upbeat, but it's got a very emotional message behind it. That's about all I could say for that one.
All right, here's another one of my favorites on this album from the title track. This is Seal the Deal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. They knew what they were doing when they were dropping the singles off this album because the two that were dropped were by far the best off this album. Yeah, great song. It's if you watch the video, there's a lot of it's about boxing, which hey, it's not basketball. Okay. So, I can respect a song about boxing, which, Warrior's Call, I believe, was actually used by a boxer to come out to the ring to. And I think either they wrote that specifically for that boxer because I think they mention him in that song. Mikkel Kessler, I think is his name. But anyway, love this song, man.
All right. Now, if you enjoyed Jesse ranting, get ready for part 2. This is yet another cover made famous by the Traveling Wilburys that I read? No. The Georgia Satellites. It was made famous by the Georgia Satellites. This is retarded. This is Battleship Chains. Have you heard this song before? I mean, we talked about it being a cover. Is this something that you heard the original of? Maybe. Maybe if I went back and listened to the original Georgia, and even the original Georgia Satellites, it's not really the original. But maybe if I had heard the Georgia Satellites version of it, it would strike a familiar chord. But it's just, what are they gonna do? The Oak Ridge Boys next? I mean, Jesus.
Oak Ridge, Elvira. Dude, don't fucking count it out. Don't count it out. He'd fucking do it too. I bet you he's probably done it at a concert. Gosh. Well, okay. I'll just talk about the evolution of how I came to figure out that this was a cover. I won't gripe too long. But pretty much when I first listened to this album, you guys were the brunt of my anger. Why in the hell? Why is he singing about this? There's stupid stuff going on in this song. A lot of times I must fall victim to the fact that when somebody sings a song, I start painting the picture, or I start seeing the story in my head. And this is clearly just about this guy who's, either in love with somebody or somebody's got such a hold on him that he can't do much. But I actually see this dude that's fucking wrapped around with these chains, and he's trying to kiss somebody. And even the lyrics were just goofy. So I am immediately like, how stupid is this fucking song? Then it starts to hit me that this really does not sound like a Volbeat song at all. It does not. I start thinking, well, maybe this is a cover, and sure enough, I find out that it's a cover. This is number 2 of some of the stupidest covers I've ever heard in my entire life. I just went into this album tonight thinking there was one. Now I come out of the Metal Hammer of Doom and find out that they were not original enough to come up with 2 songs that they could put on this album. Instead, they covered 2 of the stupidest songs I've ever heard. So, thank goodness, I think this is the final dive off of the cliff for me in regards to this album. I'm fairly certain. But Battleship Chains, oh my gosh, man. Just give me a fucking break. Throw me in the fucking sea, tied to the anchor and just let me drown. I'm done with that shit.
Got me tied down the Battleship Chains. Boy, if your arm is like cocked and rocking back and forth.
You're fucking stupid, man. I mean, come on.
All right, moving right along here. This is not Alanis Morissette's You Ought to Know, but this is Volbeat's You Will Know, track 12.
These streets without a hope. Give Mary West the kiss. When did they leave? Where did they go? Feel the burning breeze. After all these years, we're so far away in a prison cell. I no longer want to feel the darkness in my soul. Forever, forever you would know. Again, lost at your place. I brought the flowers that I know you like for you, my dear. All the memories after all these years could have been nowhere, never been the same. I no longer wanna feel the darkness in my soul. Forever, forever you would know.
That's not bad. It sounds very familiar, but it's okay. Nothing to get excited about, but nothing for me to get overly complainty about either. Complainty. I make up words on this show.
Well, they fit. It feels like filler to me. Really, my 3-word note is ended already because we're 12 tracks deep, and I mean we've heard maybe 3 songs off of this album. That's really what it felt like 12 songs into it. I thought, okay, there's maybe 3 or 4 songs that we've actually really heard. The rest of them are just kind of the same thing. It's a love song. It's play me on the radio. That's all I can say.
All right. Oh, say no more. Say no more. There's your wife a goer. Say no more. All right. This is the last track here. This is the Lowest Crossroad. I'm just going to go ahead and give my final analysis. I'm going to say this album is a C. It just kind of thrown out there to be loved and appreciated and bought by the mindless masses. There's really nothing to it. There's a couple of heavy, fun songs, but overall, kind of a big letdown. Volbeat, you let me down. Jesse?
We've used words tonight such as mainstream, samey, Sami Sames, Sami Zayn. There's one word that I wrote down here that I think really fits that we have not used, and that is predictable. This album, you will find from track 1 to track 13, very few differences, but a lot of predictability. You're going to go from one song to the next, and you're going to feel like you already know that song. I've heard this song before. This is where it's going to go. This is how it's going to lead. This is the content. I mean, not much more that I can say other than gone are the days of Caroline No. 1, Fire Song, Still Counting, Boa. If you go back and listen to those songs, they almost feel like they don't have a place in what Volbeat is now. I wish it was different. I talked about evolution versus experimentation. I don't think they're experimenting anymore. We're witnessing the evolution of what Volbeat is to remain. And as their popularity gains and they start, when I went to go see them in Cincinnati, it was a small club. They hadn't yet to blow up. They were on the verge. That's for sure. But I think that's out. That's kind of out of the question now. These guys are tearing up the charts, and
now they're on tour with Killswitch Engage. By the way, they just announced today that they're on tour with Killswitch Engage. I think the closest they're coming to you is Cincinnati.
Would it be? It's probably Bogarts. Well, I don't know. It's probably not Bogarts because Bogarts was the small venue I saw them at. So it's probably something huge now. But yeah, predictability, sameness. People, if you enjoy Volbeat, I'm not going to tell you that this is a horrible album. I criticized a few tracks for sure. If you enjoy this by all means, have at it, because you're not going to get much more in the way of Michael Poulsen than what you hear here.
Okay,
So,
quick correction: the closest they're coming to you would be Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, is that? Does it have the? Is it like a festival, or is it just them two together and that's it, right?
No, it's them two together. It's August 13th, Columbus, Ohio, at Express Live.
I don't know where Express Life is unless that's the main thing, but well, I guarantee you the lady that I work with that went to go watch it with me in Cincinnati, which, by the way, she got up on stage. I know I've mentioned that before. She's older than me and you, Mark. Makes me proud. She got up on stage and danced with these guys and had a good time. She will be messaging me and saying, hey, they're going to be in Columbus. Do you want to go? And I'm going to have to say, are they playing fucking Battleship Chains?
That's the answer. So that's what's happening, then I'm going to have to say no, madam.
No, ma'am. Thank you, though. But that's it, man. You said you gave it a C. I'm going to give this I'm going to give it a thumbs down.
Wow. Jesse, yeah. How do you this is your first very negative, I didn't think it was that negative, but this is the hard time you've had to be very negative on something that you love. How do you feel?
It was therapeutic. I'm glad the Metal Hammer of Doom gave me the outlet to bring this to the forefront of our listeners and allow me to express my own feelings. I'll probably be able to sleep better tonight. That's for sure.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
I honestly got distracted. Clutch's Neil Fallon, ex-Black Sabbath drummer, Vinny Appice, new project, Dunsmuir.
All right. I have no idea what the hell that is. Is that the name of something? That's the name of the band?
Yeah, Dunsmuir.
Dunsmuir. I'm sure it's spelled all fucked up too, isn't it?
Dunsmuir. Dunsmuir. The band finds Fallon enjoying blah blah blah. Heaven and Hell drama video. Fu Manchu bassist Brad Davis and the company band guitarist Dave Bone. The group has already released 3 7-inch vinyl singles and a 4th single slated for a June 15th release with a limited number of 500 being pressed. However, fans can look forward to a full new-length album. The self-titled disc is due July 22nd from Hall of Records. Add that to the list. Hang on.
I'm on.
Dunsmuir.
Company band hasn't released anything in a while. I don't think. I'd like to hear some more Company Band. I know they're a big super group and they got out their hands and everything else, so it's probably hard for them to even cut an album. I think the last one they did was 3 years ago.
July 22nd. I've added to my list that now includes also Jackal and the Testament coming out sometime in September.
Ooh, Testament. I enjoy me some Testament.
Yes. There's a track list too. All right. Well, let's let's not get ourselves too distracted by any of this. And let's go ahead and do plugs here. So last week, as we said, we covered the new Hell Yeah, another one where we were not so wazooey about it, as it were.
Speak for yourself.
No, but we were both not.
You and Coop didn't like it. There was a couple, but I think that one beats fucking Seal the Deal out the water, in my opinion. I mean, it just blows it out of the water.
This Friday, the new Throssenblatt comes out. We'll be reviewing it a week from tonight. Coop will be back. The week after that, if I'm back from my hog hunting time, going after to shoot pigs. How do you feel about that, huh?
Murderer. Make me some bacon.
I'll send you some ribs.
Some jerky.
We'll be reviewing the new Whitechapel that night. Again, provided I'm back in time for my hog hunt. I should be. The week after that. Now, July is. I'm officially calling July the shit we forgot month. Okay. I was going to take the month off and just not do any Metal Hammer of Doom because we've been going almost week after week for a while now. And I figured, let me give everybody a break. And there was nothing coming out in July until I found out about Dunsmuir. There was nothing coming out in July that I thought was really worth talking about. I now stand corrected. Apparently, Coop got in my ass about it and was like, no. It's all kinds of shit we forgot about. So I'm affectionately calling it the Lost Month, and we're going to be catching up on some albums that we didn't have time for previously. So these are all previously released albums from the past month or so. Tuesday, July 5th, we'll be celebrating Independence Day or the day after Independence Day by listening to the new Gojira. Yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
July 12th will be, July 12th actually will not be a Metal Hammer of Doom. We'll be reviewing The Secret Life of Pets, which we normally do on Wednesdays, but there's a UFC fight on that Wednesday, so we moved things around. We'll be reviewing The Secret Life of Pets on Tuesday, and then July 14th, we'll be reviewing the new Lacuna Coil, which made Jesse all soggy in the pants.
Oh, yes, indeed. Some good stuff on that one. And I'll tell you, yeah, it's good stuff.
July 19th, we'll be reviewing the new Death Angel, The Evil Divide. Now, that was one that Coop was all saucy in the pants about. And right now, we are looking at doing, for July 28th, we won't be doing anything July 26th because I'll be at Gwen Stefani because I'm a good dad. But Thursday, July 28th, we'll be reviewing the new Witherscape here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. We're gonna have to
that sounds like a fucking Warcraft edition.
Yeah. So we're reviewing the new Witherscape, July 28th, and we'll have to find a place for Dunsmuir.
Another Warcraft name.
We can do it. August 2nd. There we go. Right there. Right on the calendar. Dunsmuir. Yeah. Dunsmuir. Metal Hammer of Doom. People love it when we plan our shows as we're doing them.
Oh, I think that's what they tune in for. We need to start doing this at the beginning of the show. Be like, play their intro and then be like, all right, let's see. What are we going to schedule next month?
Sure. All right. So after Dunsmuir, that's August 2nd. That's it for now. That's all I've got on the calendar. I will tell you, actually, that we've got in the works, we've got reviews of the new Tarja, the Shadow Self coming down the pike, Jekyll with a Y. They've got a new album coming up. I'm going to make Cooper listen to it because I'm terrible. And then he's going to make me listen to the new Sabaton, The Last Stand. There's a new Running Wild coming out at the end of August, a new Devin Townsend project. You ever listen to any Devin Townsend or Strapping Young Lad there, Jesse?
Devin Townsend sounds very familiar. If you put them on the playlist, I might have, but if not, I might have caught him somewhere else though.
I definitely put Strapping Young Lad on there, and Devin Townsend.
Okay, yes, I do remember Strapping Young Lad.
Okay, and finally, sometime in September, Brotherhood of the Snake by Testament will be coming out. We'll be reviewing that as well. So we've got a pretty loaded up summer here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. You can also check out our movie reviews on Wednesday. Last week was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, where Jesse and Teasley filled in for Robert Winfrey. This week is Warcraft, and we may be having a special guest. I don't want to oversell it, but we might be having my dad on. My dad, Father Radulich, big pop. He might be joining us on the Warcraft review. Here's a man who didn't like Deadpool. He's the only one in America. So I always enjoy his takes on movies, because if you think Robert Winfrey has a real issue with just letting fantasy be fantasy and always having to tell you that's not how things work, you haven't met my dad.
Yes, that'll be awesome.
Okay, I've now got the most autistic people on the show. It'll be fantastic. Just them yelling at me that things don't work that way, or in the universe, and me biting the desk.
Oh, I can't wait.
So, I have to remind him he's going to be on the show tomorrow. But he actually liked Warcraft, so I can't imagine there's going to be a whole lot of that. However, I will give him a few minutes to explain why he didn't like Deadpool. Jesse, you've got less than a minute of live air time. Go ahead and do your plugs real quick, and then we're going to get out of here.
Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. Don't forget to give the Radulich and Broadcasting Network Facebook page a like. You can stay up on top of all the great podcasts that the Radulich and Broadcasting Network has to offer. I do a great podcast on comic books called Source Material. We did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 1 last week. Me, Benjamin, Jason Teasley wasn't on there. Ronnie Adams, my good buddy Justin Thomas was on there. I did so many podcasts last week, 4 in a row. I don't know if that's a record on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network, but by golly, I gave it my best shot. You can follow me at Stiznarkey on Twitter, and keep an eye out there. Probably popping up on some Screaming Boy stuff there. My good buddy Ronnie Adams. Always we have a fun time doing the documentary diary. It'll be on the network at some point, I'm sure. So keep an eye out there. If I want to thank you guys again for letting me come on here, and boy, was this an experience. I'll never forget this one. Thanks again.
I don't know how to take that. All right, with that said, I always enjoy having Jesse on the show. Again, we'll be back next week with the all croissant blanc. Until then, be well, be safe, and behave. Play the damn music. Play it.